Hey guys, we have an anime channel called Mystic Sage, where I do a lot of anime stuff. If you like anime, consider checking it out. I will leave a link for that and for the most recent video I posted down in the description below and in the icon above. We also have merch on sale if any of these shirts look cool to you, like Shepherd's Delight. Go check that out in the description as well. So things are going to get a little darker today in the best team series, because we're looking at the best team for dark types. This series has been going really well, and you guys have been coming out with the great support for it, so we're going to keep it rolling today. With that out of the way, the rules are still the same today as we present the best team for dark types. Let's get right to it with our Mega Pokemon, Generation 2 Pseudo-Legendary Tyranitar. Now I mentioned back in my opinions in all the Dark type videos that I am not huge on Mega Tyranitar's existence, but since I'm trying to include a Mega on each team, and I already have plans for a certain Pokemon down the road that does Mega Evolve into a Dark type, this was the best one to go with. I honestly wish I could have put Mega Absol here, but it's just way too much of a glass can to be worth it. The best thing Mega Tyranitar has going for it is its very high attack stat, a staggering base 164. It's even got a pretty great defense stat as well at 150. Mega T-Tar's special stats are completely useless there for the most part, so we're not going to put too much focus on them. I added 252 EVs to the attack and HP stats, and I'll push its HP over 400 and giving it an incredibly high 469 attack, following yet another boost to the stat from the added miniature I've given it. There's nothing we can do for the poor speed stat, so adding bulk to this Pokemon with a boost to the HP was my only way of combating the unfortunate reality. I should mention as well that Mega Tyranitar has a Sandstorm ability and is obviously holding the Tyranitarite. The thought crossed my mind to build this team to get some support from the Sandstorm, but I ended up deciding not to go in that direction, so this ability goes wildly unused by the rest of the team. So Mega Tyranitar is going to be rocking out Stone Edge, Earthquake, Crunch, and Iron Head. Stone Edge is a pretty obvious move for Tyranitar. It's got a high critical hit ratio, but only 80% accuracy, so it's not a guarantee to always land. It's worth the risk though, as of Tyranitar's incredibly high attack, and that chance to crit there is a real chance you could do major damage to anything you're facing. Next is Earthquake, yet another extremely strong move like Stone Edge, except this time with 100% accuracy. This will probably be your best option against fighting types if you end up in battling against one of them, though I definitely suggest never leaving Mega T-Tar in any sort of strong fighting type Pokemon situation. Next up we have Crunch, which takes advantage of Tyranitar's other stab and provides a 20% chance to lower the opponent's defense by a stage. It's got 80 base power and is a better option than Foul Play, since it'll be using that sky high attack of Tyranitar's instead of whatever the opponent's Pokemon's attack stat is. Finally we have Iron Head, which will be useful against the fairy types that Tyranitar might have to go up against. As always, Iron Head has a 30% chance to flinch the opponent when it connects, which is a great added bonus to any already useful move. Again, Mega Tyranitar's speed really messes with things a bit, but it's a thrilling gamble to send it out and see what that 469 attack can really accomplish when given the chance. We've got the best Generation 6 starter next, the incomparable Greninja. Greninja has got a great move pool, a set of good abilities, and is probably the most interesting Pokemon on the team to build. It's actually pretty interesting how many different types of sets you could use successfully with Greninja, and I've got one that's pretty cool to share for this team. I like to build a Greninja that take advantage of its higher special attack, though its attack stat can be worked with as well. Greninja's hidden ability is Protean, and with it we're able to get stab on every move we see, as well as give us defensive options. For example, if Greninja is out in battle against an electric type, it can use Dark Pulse to become purely a Dark type Pokemon, and lose that weakness it has as a Dark/Water dual type. Greninja's stats definitely favor the special attack and speed, and thanks to that, we're really going to need to worry about its defenses. We're wanting Greninja to outspeed and slam hard with a great combination of things from its ability, to its item, to its moveset. When it comes to EVs, we're going to be boosting that speed and special attack even further from 242 and 308 to 305 and 343 respectively. We'll boost the speed stat more with a Timidature to give us a really good 377 one that will outspeed many others. The item I've given Greninja is the Expert Belt, which provides a 1.2 boost to all super effective moves that it connects with. I built a moveset that hits for super effective damage against all but 6 of the typings in the game. I think this gives Greninja great usage in most battles. Greninja's moveset for coverage is Scald, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and Hidden Power Fighting. Scald will turn Greninja purely into a water type and has 80 base power along with a great chance to burn the opponent at 30%. I debated between the extra power of Surf or this opportunity to burn with Scald, and naturally Scald won out due to how important status conditions are in a battle. If Greninja is facing off with a Rhyperior for instance, Scald base power is going to end up being 144, which of course Rhyperior would never survive. As a matter of fact, Scald is going to be super effective against Rock, Ground, and Fire types, giving that Expert Belt 3 chances to come in handy with just 1 being used. The next move we got is Dark Pulse, because how could we possibly skip out on yet another 80 base power move that'll give us a 20% chance to flinch the opponent? I don't need to rave on and on again about how great it is to have a chance to flinch your opponent in a battle, so I'll just quickly point out that when in a battle against a Psychic or Ghost type Pokemon, its base power is going to shoot up to 144. The next move is Ice Beam, which isn't going to help you out that much defensively since Ice type only resists itself. However, it's more so here to give you some more nice coverage against 3 additional types: Grass, Dragon, and Flying. If you're up against a Dragonite, Ice Beam's base power will shoot up to 162, and without a doubt, absolutely destroy that pseudo. Ice Beam also has a 10% chance to freeze your opponent, which will definitely put a damper on things for them. Just make sure that if you do freeze a Pokemon, you don't use Scald on them. All you'll do is defrost them if you're not able to knock them out. Finally, we have Hidden Power Fighting, and it's going to give us 3 more types we're super effective against that haven't been accounted for already: Ice, Steel, and Normal. Hidden Power isn't the strongest move ever at base 60 power, but against an Alolan Sandslash, its power is base 108, and that's pretty respectable. With these 4 moves mixing with the Protein ability, you've got the opportunity to hit 11 out of the 18 types with super effective damage, taking advantage of that Expert Belt to the fullest. Also, on the defensive side of things, through the 4 types afforded to you, Greninja has resistances against 9 different types, half of how many there actually are. Greninja obviously can't handle every single Pokemon, but then again, nothing can. Next up, there is Weavile, and before you say anything, no, it does not have Avalanche. I would never make that mistake again. Weavile is an obnoxiously fast Pokemon with a pretty solid physical attack that is going to serve as the token glass cannon of the team, coming out to do as much damage as possible before eventually being defeated either by itself or by the opposing Pokemon. The only really unfortunate thing about Weavile is that both of its abilities are a little useless. Pressure can be useful if we were going to be able to have Weavile out for an extended period of time, but that's probably not going to be the case. Pickpocket is its other ability, but since I've already gotten at him on Weavile, it's got no purpose. Pressure is the one we're going to go with, out of lack of options, but it's really unimportant. Weavile will be receiving 252 EVs in speed and attack, along with the Jelly Nature to boost its speed up to 383, which ends up even higher than Greninja's. We really are going all in on Weavile, just coming into battle and doing all it can before fainting, and I take that a step further by applying the Life Orb. 1/10 of Weavile's HP will be lost for every move it hits, so it's only got a max of 10 turns before fainting. However, you can probably guess that it will probably end up being way less turns than that, unless you get a little lucky with matchups. Weavile has got Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Fake Out, and Poison Dab for its moveset. Knockoff is going to serve as a Dark-type stab and can really throw a wrench into your opponent's plans. It's got 65 base power on its own, but that shoots up to 97.5 if they're holding an item. There are a lot of Pokemon who rely on their item to actually be viable, so this makes Knockoff such a great move to have access to just in case, and in Weavile's case, it only gets stronger because of stab thanks to its Dark-typing. Icicle Crash is a move I had to debate pretty hard on, so I'm going to say that here you can have it or Ice Punch depending on your preference. Icicle Crash has a pretty decent base power at 85, which gets boosted to 127 with stab, but it's got 90% accuracy. However, the reason I really wanted to use it was a 30% chance to flinch, which can really help you get the most out of Weavile. If all you're dealing with is the damage from Life Orb, which by the way makes Icicle Crash's base power go up to 165, then you're doing things right with Weavile. Ice Punch is 75 base power and 100% accurate with a 10% chance to freeze the opponent, but I sincerely believe the 30% chance of flinching makes up for the slightly lower accuracy on Icicle Crash. Like I said, it's up to you on which one you prefer. Next is Fake Out, which will be extremely useful for setting up Pokemon to be taken out by Weavile. The move has +3 priority, so it'll usually be the move that goes out first in a battle, and even at only 52 base power following the Life Orb boost, should still do a nice little chunk of damage to most Pokemon who doesn't resist the normal type. That little bit of damage from Fake Out could be all you need to get a knockout by following up with Knockoff, Icicle Crash, or the last move in this set, Poison Jab. Poison Jab is here to handle Fairy types that are very dominant against Dark-type Pokemon. The Life Orb raises Poison Jab's power up to 104 from 80 and brings it with a 30% chance to poison. As far as being a glass cannon is concerned, Weavile is one of the best to hold the title, and is an integral part of this team. This next Pokemon is really going to cement this team as legendary. Generation 6's Yveltal. Yveltal has a pretty nice typing of Flying and Dark and offers a nice variety of options on how to use it. Its ability is also tailor-made for a team like this. It made it a very obvious choice to add on. Dark Aura makes Dark moves by any Pokemon 1.3 times stronger as long as Yveltal is an active participant in the battle. When it comes to Yveltal, we're going to set him up to be a special sweeper, sort of in the same light as Greninja is, except with a greater focus on its special attack rather than speed. Yveltal has a base 131 special attack, so it would be silly not to take full advantage of that. The 2 stats receiving 252 EVs are going to be special attack and speed, and the nature I'm going with this time is modest. Yveltal's speed is going to be below 300, while its special attack will be exactly 100 points higher than the speed stat. The item I'm giving Yveltal is a choice specs, so prepare for its moves to hit even harder because its special attack is now barely under 600. Yveltal's moveset is going to be more focused on taking advantage of its Flying type, as it's got a broader move pool when it comes to that typing as opposed to its Dark typing. Honestly, if not for Dark Aura, I probably would have rather included Yveltal on a best team for Flying types, but I digress. The moveset is Air Slash, Hurricane, Oblivion Wing, and Dark Pulse. Air Slash is 75 base power with 95% accuracy and has a 30% chance to flinch. Honestly, if you couldn't have guessed it at this point, the ability to flinch Pokemon is something I find ridiculously important and actively search for when building these teams. Air Slash is nothing different as it benefits from stab and will undoubtedly be a good move to lean on when you might be in a corner needing a chance to stop your opponent's attacks for a turn. Next is Hurricane, and it packs a great 110 base power. On top of being a very strong stab move, it's also got a 30% chance to confuse your opponent. The only real question mark on it is the 75% accuracy, though it won't miss if in the rain. So if you're up against a rain dance team, you're set up with a move that can really turn the tables on your opponent and use their own weather against them. Next is Oblivion Wing, Yveltal's signature move and a very important one at that. Oblivion Wing hits for 80 base power and is 100% act and gives Yveltal back 75% of the damage done to the opponent in HP. This makes Oblivion Wing obviously a must for Yveltal, as with the stab and choice specs it's going to hit very hard and thus help heal Yveltal significantly if necessary. Finally, there's Dark Pulse, yet another 80 base power move. This one gets the best boost from Yveltal though, as it will be strengthened by stab and Dark Aura. Dark Pulse has a good chance to knock out just about anything that doesn't resist it, and is what makes Yveltal very scary in its position as a special attack juggernaut on this team. We're going to be featuring Darkrai next as we start to enter the final third of this best team for dark types. Darkrai made it onto the best team for mythicals and legendaries, but it's going to be a little different here to help fit in better with the rest of the team. Darkrai is going to be our setup Pokemon, another special attacker that relies on building itself up and doing residual damage. So it's safe to say Darkrai is going to be doing just a tad bit different in execution from Greninja and Yveltal. I gave Darkrai 252 EVs in speed and special attack and made it timid nature, setting both of those stats up to be pretty dang high. Darkrai's speed ends up at 383, which matches Weavile as fastest Pokemon on the team, and its special attack is 369, which is much higher than Greninja's, but still a bit behind Yveltal's. There isn't any need to worry though, as I'm prepared with setup to make Darkrai hit even harder while outspeeding its opponents no problem. The biggest question you guys seem to have when Darkrai appeared on the best team for legendaries and mythicals was why I went with Hypnosis over Dark Void. I did it merely for the higher accuracy, but since you guys want to see Dark Void so much and this is the best team for dark types, it makes its appearance in place of Hypnosis. Also, I left off Spatial Rend since I'm making an effort not to include those event exclusive moves. The moveset now is Dark Void, Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, and Psychic. Dark Void is 50% accuracy, but I've included the Wide Lens once again to give it a boost up to 55. Coupled with Bad Dreams, it will be causing the opponent to lose 1/8 of their HP at the end of every single turn, and with them asleep, you'll be free to use Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot is a setup move I've been referring earlier that will drive up Darkrai's special attack stat by 2 stages with every usage. Just one will get it up to 738, and if you can get off 3 for the max boost, it will be all the way up at 1476. If you've got those Nasty Plots all built up, then using Dark Void any further won't be really necessary anymore, as you can just turn the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse's base power is 120 thanks to stab, and with a special attack even at 738, it's going to cause major damage to anything, and with 1476 max possible special attack, it's probably going to knock out anything as well. Psychic is an option as well in this moveset, but it's mostly for hitting fighting types with a super effective move, as well as fairy types of something that they don't resist. It may seem like I made things a bit quick with Darkrai, and honestly, it's because I'm very excited. We're on to our last Pokemon on the team, and come on, if this wasn't obvious from the very moment you saw I uploaded this video, there's only one possible Pokemon that could round out this team, the greatest Pokemon of all time, my mascot, Umbreon. That's right, my favorite Pokemon is of course going to be involved in a video about building a team around the best dark types. Umbreon is a consummate special wall, and I decided to use it just like that. We're talking that set everyone hates, Toxic Style Umbreon. I'm giving it inner focus so it can't be flinched, and it will be getting 252 EVs in HP and special defense as well as a calm nature. Umbreon's HP and special defense are both at 394, and nothing is going to stand between it and absolutely making your opponent have a bad time. Umbreon is going to bathe in the sweet poison blood of its enemies, and honestly, there's nothing they can do about it. It will be holding leftovers as well, so just in case any opposing teams think they can actually put a dent in Umbreon's greatness, they'll be proven sorely mistaken quickly. Umbreon's amazing moveset is going to be Foul Play / Substitute, Toxic, Protect, and Wish. If you find yourself in against a special attacker, if you get that chance, you should set up Toxic quickly and begin the stall. If you'd rather have at least one attacking move on Umbreon, I'd suggest Foul Play, which takes the opponent's attack stat into account when dealing damage and packs a 95 base power. Toxic is only 90% accurate, so there isn't a guarantee it'll hit every time you use it, but between the Substitute and the leftovers constantly regenerating health, you've actually got a little bit of cushion just in case you need to go for it in back-to-back turns. With Toxic working and the opponent slowly fading away, you'll be free
free to use Protect so either Umbreon's HP or the HP of the substitute remain untouched for the turn. And then finally you've got Wish, just in case Umbreon needs to get its health back quickly, or if you need to get it out of there and want to free switch in. That will more than likely get any health back that it loses for just entering the battle and taking a hit from the opponent Pokemon. It's literally that easy for Umbreon to be a dominant force against almost any Pokemon, with the exception of Poison and Steel types. Those are the only things that Umbreon can't do anything against, but thankfully it's got a true supporting cast of 5 other Pokemon to help it get rid of those, so it can step into the spotlight and wear your opponent down so much they probably think of forfeiting right then and there.
There it is, guys, the best team for dark types all wrapped up. I had so much fun in putting this one together and being able to feature Umbreon in such a prominent role. I think this is a pretty well put together team, but as always, I want to hear from you guys. Please let me know what you guys think about this team in the comments. And if you use it, let me know how it goes. Would you guys do anything differently, and is there any Pokemon you'd rather see on the team that wasn't included? Let me know everything in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. I also have an anime channel called Mystic Sage where I create a bunch of anime speculations and reviews, so if you like anime content, consider checking that out. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and Nintendo content like Shiny Hunting, Showdown Battles, Explorers of Sky, Zelda, Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers, Borderlands, you name it, I play it. Want to support me further in Game Call Perks? Check out my Patreon. Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Pal491, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Awesome Lego, Jarrett Weezosted, and Sodden Grider did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.